petrol and diesel prices daily in 5 cities from May 1. And of course, going forward, a nationwide rollout is expected. Also, in 5 states, on Sundays, petrol pumps will be closed. We have P. Balasubramanian, Director of Finance at BPCL, now joining us. Mr. Balasubramanian, good morning. First, I want to discuss this, petrol pumps being closed on Sundays. Is this feasible? I believe Maharashtra is one of the states.
Good morning. I think some of the associations are given that thing. We are in dialogues with these associations. We'll see that how that need to be sorted out.
Yeah, but if it happens, it will lead to quite a bit of dent on profitability, I assume.
Profitability will not be the issue. Issue is the supply chain part of it and the distribution part of it.
Okay. You will end up selling the same amount of volume even with 4 days off.
Yeah, that's right, Lata.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Well, Mr. Balasubramanian, volumes itself, I mean, for 3 months in a row, we have seen the volume of fuel products consumption falling. Is that now a worry? How would you think that you would do the quarter?
Yeah, petrol has done well. There is no issues on the petrol side. Diesel has been slightly lower. I think the pickup should start from now on, and I think in the second half it should be moving up. Overall, the diesel growth for the OMCs have been in the negative in the current year, though the last quarter the negatives have been a little bit more. But I feel that once this year close thing comes, and then I think now the market is getting slowly revived. I think the diesel growth also should go in line with the normal industry growth, which used to be have at least 2 to 3%. But petrol has been very buoyant at almost around 9% growth in the current year. And overall growth for the industry is somewhere around, pardon?
In the quarter?
Quarter numbers I don't have readily, but I think that should also be around the same levels.
Okay.
Okay. This daily revision of petrol and diesel, do you think we have the systems in place, the maturity right now to look at the daily international price, daily dollar-rupee equation, and what kind of marketing margins would be, would be maintained when we are talking about the daily price revision?
Now, first of all, oil companies are technologically equipped today to make the daily pricing. So issues of technology and the preparations on the oil company side is not an issue at all. Thing is that it's basically to smoothen the volatility of the prices over a period of time. Today we are making fortnightly, and then now we are planning to do it on a pilot basis to see that how the things work for all the stakeholders in this retail pricing side. So I think overall benefits will be there for all the stakeholders. As regards marketing margins are concerned, it's a different issue. Today what we are talking about is the pricing of the product cycles in a different way than what is being currently practiced. And it is a pilot basis. We have to see what are the pros and cons of this and how the things turn out once we really implement on the field. That's why we are taking a limited number of 5 cities to experiment with, to see how the things move. After a couple of months, once we are stabilizing on it and seeing, do some course corrections if need be, based upon the various impacts that are being that will be seen in the next 2-3 months, we will take the final call on what to do and how to do that.
Okay. Well, Mr. Balasubramanian, I can tell you from a consumer's point of view, the big fear is that every time crude prices rise in NYMEX or WTI, we will pay higher, but we are not very sure that we will pay lower when those prices stick lower. Are you electronically connected to every petrol and diesel dispensing machine in the country?
We are electronically connected to most of the petrols and diesel stations in the country. Okay. And the thing is that even today that we are our changes in prices reflects the market prices. Only thing is that it doesn't capture it on a daily basis. It is getting punched over a fortnightly basis. Okay. That is what we want to try to smoothen it out now and see, and then on an experimental basis how the things work.
Fair enough. So let me come to the GRMs itself. How did the GRMs do in the quarter gone by? And as well, what will inventories do to that margin?
GRMs in the current quarter for BPCL is around $5 per barrel. And overall for the year also will be more or less around that levels. there is not much of, that's not a huge change on the crude prices, but at the end of the quarter, there is some minor changes as compared to the December quarter, which has gone by, where we have already published the results. The impact of the prices on the crude was minimal. However, there are some impacts on the product side because of the product prices have came down in the last fortnight, which has got an impact on our inventories.
When you
Inventory
said,
valuation.
when you said this quarter, you meant the Jan-March quarter?
Yeah, that's right.
Fair.
Okay. Mr. Balasubramanian, the other issue, which has been a bit of a hanging issue now, of a consolidation in the space. Anything fresh that you have heard from the oil ministry or from the government?
Now, what you have heard in the press is what I am also hearing. That the thing is that all the companies are reviewing wherever the positions as such, and then it's not going to be an overnight change. It will be a phased out change. That's what we are also looking at. And as BPCL, we are also evaluating what all the pros and cons or what all the issues that we declared. BPCL, as you know, that we have always believed in value creation. We have created a good value for the shareholders over a period of time. And any of our decisions will be for the further creation of value for the overall, for all the stakeholders.
No, the question here is this just a stake transfer from government to, say, ONGC or Oil India, or is this a proper merger that we're talking about?
No, I think it's too preliminary to comment on that. It's very early stages. People are evaluating the methodology and modes of these things will have to be discussed. I think perhaps 3 to 6 years down the line, the clarity on these subjects will be there, and then perhaps we can discuss more in detail in this regard.
Okay. Well, something perhaps you can update us. Kochi expansion, how much of a volume expansion can we count in FY18?
Yeah. Kochi, we have technically commissioned all the plants as on 31st March 17, excepting for the Petrol FCCU, which was also in the final stages of commissioning. The units are getting stabilized one by one. It's a sequential commissioning of the various units. For all practical purposes, it's a new refinery of almost around 10.5 million metric tons, because we are replacing an old crude distillation column with a new column of higher capacity, taking it to 15.5. We feel that the stabilization of the CDU has stabilized already, because we commissioned it sometime last quarter, sometime around the third quarter. Other units are being commissioned now, and this week we will be commissioning the coker, the delayed coker unit, and other sulfur recovery units and other units will be commissioned in the periods as we go by. So we are hopeful that by the first half of the year, we will stabilize on all the plants, and the second half we will be doing the full 15.5 million ton capacity utilization for the entire refinery. It's likely to add almost around 2.5 to 3 million metric tons in the current year in the overall.
Sorry, one
Kochi.
brokerage is giving an estimate of 30% increase in volumes in FY18. Fair estimate?
Yeah, because the first 6 months, as I told you, will be slightly less because the sequential commissioning. Yeah.
All right. Fair point, sir. Thank you very much for patiently taking all our questions, and all the very best, sir.